So hi, it's me, Dopey Keller from iLotus, and welcome to the TCM community. Today we're talking to Dr. Yifan Yang, who's one of the leading lecturers of Chinese herbal medicine and formulas. And she studied at Beijing University of TCM, where she also worked as a doctor and teacher in Chinese herbal formula department. So after completing her master's degree there, she moved to the Netherlands, where she works as a practitioner and teacher in the same field. And she gives lectures and holds seminars in the Netherlands, Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Poland. Dr. Yang is also the author of Chinese Herbal Medicine, Comparison Characteristics, and Chinese Herbal Formulas, Treatment Principles, and Composition Strategies. She recently has written a book on the aftercare of COVID-19 infection. And welcome, Dr. Yang. Welcome to the TCM channel.
Thank you.
Lately, more and more people are seeking help after being through a period of infection. I also notice it in my clinic. And is this one of the reasons that inspired you to write this book? What was your motivation to write this book?
To write this book, it's a start because last year, 2020, at the beginning, when it started, I already paid attention for that and curious what kind of virus that is. And I noticed that is the process it become pronounced and really dangerous to people. It take time. At that moment, I have already a bit idea. I say this is some pathogenic factor which may link with the dampness, which will attack weak people. So I also thought after that will be also have a problem. That is first my intention, think about that. And second is also more important one is in the practice, and I met a lot of patients or meet a lot of patients is after different kind of infections. The infectious disease is not past, although sometimes it's about 5 years, even 10 years, and they still feel tired and weak, and later the physical condition are not very good. So in that way, I have a kind of sum up and build up my experience about chronic disease, infectious disease after that can have a lot of problems.
So you mentioned also, you gave an example of certain diseases lingering in the body for 5 to 10 years. Could you explain more about that?
When my patients come to me, say, I'm very tired. When I ask more, they say, a long time ago, when I was a teenager, I have the fever. Somebody can also say, I have kind of Lyme disease. Another say, I have hepatitis. So those kind of disease, although this is a virus infection, and quite often they get a test to say, oh, you are get rid of this disease already. But the patients still feel very tired because that is the pathogenic factor is away, but they made a very big turbulence in the body, such as the qi movement is different and a lot of dampness, phlegm accumulation. That make further development in the body. That make the patient feel ill. That's why I say for COVID, those long COVID patients, that's although maybe there is no virus infection anymore, but the body, the balance is disturbed. That's why they still have problems. If they don't take care, that will last longer.
So in your book, you also cover about 35 single herbs and 20 patent formulas, because I think you kept it to patent formulas to try and keep it simple for everybody. But also, what about let's say there are a lot of practitioners that only do acupuncture, but they're still interested in treating people with COVID-19 infections, or well, the aftercare of that. Is this book also suitable for them?
Yes, precisely. Because I'm, besides a teacher, I'm also a practitioner. I know in the practice a lot of things we can offer, but not everybody have the same study and same level. That's I want everybody, the therapist, alternative therapist, especially TCM therapist, can all put their possibility, capacity, and to help the people. That's why in this book, I use a kind of problem shooting. Huh? Then that's, I will do acupuncture. What is your task? What particularly you can do for this group, and the diet, what you can do for your this part. And besides those patent formula, there is in the section 3 is really the therapist trained completely with single herbs and can make a formula themselves. Then they can use that to make this part. That's why, in fact, this book is make all therapists can take their task. Of course, when patient call, you can say, I can do, especially for acupuncture, for the pain and for the movement of the qi and the blood, that's part. And for diet, you can say, I can help you for the build up the body resistant and remove the dampness. So every part can take one part of the problem away. And also, I must say, in the last section, I put also the history of infectious disease, because
Mm.
in our study, and we have so many topics, but we don't have systematically the infectious disease in TCM history, how we treat it. That's why that is at the beginning I thought I put that as a reference, but later I find it's too important and too long, and that's why I put it as in a separate section for the therapy.
Yeah, I also like that section about when you delve into the history of Chinese medicine. So Yellow Emperor, Shang Hanlun. It's really interesting. It tries to interest you in doing research and look at the pattern when you're practicing Chinese medicine.
Yes, because I think that's very important and also very interesting. This COVID-19 help us to go deeper and go back to Chinese medicine in the history. Because think about in the 2000 years ago, 1000 years ago, people's life is so different than now. Now we have central heating, we have also good food, and we don't need every day to hunt. So
Mm-hmm.
before we can say the exterior condition is very much discussed, because the pathogenic factor, a lot of from outside, you have to cope with to survive and live. That's why those in the ancient, those classical books, you can get a lot of information of this part. But especially the TCM in the West, we do a lot of the modern disease. Everybody interested about how can we treat such as a skin problem, such as digestive problem, allergy, or asthma, sometimes cancer. Can we supporting with some therapy? We are interested to those things. Sometimes we ignored they have a bigger group of disease is come from the outside exterior
Mm-hmm.
disease. That is also why I put one section particularly talk this part to mend what we in education we are not put attention to this part. And also
Mm-hmm.
in the autumn I will give a seminar about this for to build up an idea and concept of a system of exterior pathogenic disease.
It's very interesting. So this seminar is for all you people out there. It's October 30th and 31st of October this year. And it's a seminar by Dr. Yifan Yang on the history and syndromes of infectious diseases and epidemic diseases in traditional Chinese medicine. I'll put a link of the seminar down below. So what I also like about your book is the accessibility to all levels. So you wrote it quite practical, right? It's for beginners, but also for advanced practitioners. I
Yes.
like the style you wrote it in. It's very practical
Yeah.
and also multidisciplinary. So not only herbal medicine, acupuncture, but also tuina and also nutrition,
Yes.
dietary therapy,
Yeah.
and exercise. You even cover exercise as well. So in general, why is it so beneficial to think of all these multidisciplinary things when treating something and when treating the aftercare of COVID-19?
Okay, so that's a very interesting and good question. I think
Mm-hmm.
in the West and also as a private clinic, we have an advantage. We can use the general will as a disease and as a person in a really TCM integrated way, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
because if in China, you still need to say, oh, you have the lung problem, you have to go specialist here. If you have a heart problem, you go here. A skin problem, you go there. But in the West, we have that, well, in one clinic, we can see a person as a general, just like a general practitioner in West
Mm-hmm.
medicine. So
Mm-hmm.
that is gave us the possibility we can take care of a patient as a person. And it's not only about a disease or in a syndrome, we'll say every therapy they have a strong point, maybe they have also some weak point, such as if you say acupuncture, we did a lot of acupuncture research and practicing in the past, and also now a lot of people like it, and I like it also more and more, although I'm originally come from Chinese herbal medicine, that part, because that is really great for moving the qi to balance the mental and the physical condition, and also it's work very quick. But on the other hand, that is to move dampness, to treat weakness. Acupuncture will say, yeah, that is not really my strong point. That's why Chinese herbal medicine is good. But when you do Chinese herbal medicine, you will think about a lot of the food is also close to the principle we use as the Chinese herbs. So if you use a diet, you even get daily supporting of the effect, such as remove dampness. You can use herbs to remove dampness, but the patient every day eat a lot of things and making dampness. So that is better also with the diet. You take care of that. After all, some people is need to move because when qi move and the dampness also uh, easy to get rid of from the body. That's why we say that is also very important. Patient uh, should move. But this movement is different from what we say the physical therapist. Generally speaking, they gave those exercise, but according to the TCM way, such as I particularly mentioned the five sound exercise, because the sound you make is also linked with your emotions, and the sound make and also with movement, the qi and your body and the mind and the combination is getting better. And massage is for people, old people and people are very weak. They can't start with a kind of self movement. Some people even go several steps already feel weak. And in that case, we can use massage because acupuncture could be a bit too strong for them, or that's sometimes directly contact with the body is working different, especially for the lonely people, for people with lost loved ones. They are isolated themselves inside. When you have directly touch and according to TCM way to pushing, to move the qi, let the emotion get also lost, the patient get also better, especially the homework people. And that's we talk not only COVID-19, those suffering, but also this 1.5 year, a lot of people, young people is get depressed, and also the older people, and they are working inside and less contact with others. So there is have stagnation. For some people are not able to do that. That can through massage can do it very well. That's why I hope all those therapists take their responsibility and capacity to help this group of people.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of intertwining all the physical therapies and natural therapies together.
Yes, that's why I say I hope that is if you can do all yourself, of course that's okay. But I think nobody can do this. There's so many. That's why that can be work as a team. We know in the West medical system there always work cooperated. There is a system. I hope really in the TCM world that is also can be cooperate, and such as you know somebody do Chinese massage, another you know somebody do qigong exercise, so you can also send them to those specialists. In that way we become not as a lonely one single practitioner. We can work together. That is also fun, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We're stronger together. What I like about this book, so really, this is a really practical book. It's accessible. It's for beginners, but it's also for advanced practitioners. It covers a lot of therapies, and it's all. Well, you heard the explanation just now. It's all very focused and delicately balanced towards the aftercare of in this case, COVID-19 infection. Really good book. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
also,
you.
Because this is you've written a couple of books, and I've, of course, I've read the other ones for single herbs and formulas. What inspired you in the first place to write books in general?
Personally, I'm from small, I like to write. I like read and I like write. But it's not only what I know, there's more what I learned, I want to share. Such as the TCM, I hope the knowledge can go to more people, and them that they can help also more people. That is my joy.
Okay, so I think we cover a lot about this book on aftercare of COVID-19 infections by Dr. Yifan Yang. You can find this book on Amazon.com or on Ball.com. I'd like to thank Dr. Yang again for taking our time and joining us today. And
thank you. Thank you
you're
too
welcome.
To invite.
So thank you all, and we'll see you next time. I'm Dopey Keller from iLotus, and we'll see you next time on the TCM channel. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.